What's going on, folks? Thanks for joining us for another episode of Seeing Live. I'm Colion the War, and we're going to check in with hunting star Melissa Bachman later on in the show. But first, we're joined by former SWAT officer and reality TV guy, Rich Emberlin. What's going on, Rich?
Not much. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's good to be here. Good to be here. So we were talking earlier about SHOT Show, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys out there can hear just this nasally, prepubescent version of myself.
SHOT Show crud.
The funny thing is, I've been in SHOT Show, 3-4 times? This is the first time I've actually gotten sick. So I'm combating this massive sinus. Oh, God, it's the worst. So you were at SHOT Show as well. What was anything at SHOT Show strike just kind of stand out to you when you were there?
You know, I had a few oh wow moments, mostly with ammunition, but a couple. It was more fun running into people that I hadn't seen. I had a buddy over at SIG who had lost both legs just last year, and he was on the sales floor, walking around, getting back into it. Ran into a couple of people, Max Michelle, who you probably know, Jesse Duff, people like that. Just fun friends that I don't get to see but once every year.
Yeah. I think that is the one thing about SHOT that's incredibly endearing, is the ability to kind of this community that in our minds is this kind of really uniformed, but we don't really see each other on a regular basis. So when we come to one area and just kind of
an annual get together, catch up,
it's like
good times,
like a tactical retreat.
Yeah, exactly.
So first of all, congrats on retiring from SWAT.
Thank you.
So how long were you in SWAT?
I was, I'll back up. I was a patrol officer for 5 years, and I was a field training officer during that time, training rookies down in Oak Cliff. And then I went to narcotics, grew my hair long and grew a beard, did that for about 3 years. And then I saw these SWAT guys tearing up houses that were full of tear gas, and I had to process these crime scenes, and that looked more fun.
Yeah.
So they had an opening over there in January of 96, and I was there from 96 to 2010, I believe, 17 years. And then I went to criminal intelligence, dignitary protection, which is one of the best jobs in the world. But Chief Brown was my SWAT sergeant back in the day, and he was looking out for me. He knew I'd been injured, my knees, my back, and he put me in criminal intel, which is a really cool job.
So what does criminal intel consist of? I mean, just on a day-to-day basis?
On a day-to-day basis, we monitor all these protests that happen down here, no matter what the group is. And but when we have a presidential visit or a senatorial visit, if they require a protection team, like members of the House have to be in leadership positions. Obviously, the president gets a protection with Secret Service, and I just am a liaison between Secret Service, Capitol Hill Police, federal marshals, if it's judges. And it's because they're all from different states. They're in D.C. They don't know their way around Dallas.
Gotcha. So, you know what's interesting about that? I clearly live in Dallas, and I lived off of Maine for a good period of time, and I gotta say, you guys do a bang up job from the standpoint of getting ahead and being really in tune with a lot of the demonstrations that take place. Of course, withstanding the unfortunate events that happened not too long ago.
July 7th,
yeah. I got to be honest with you. I'm originally from Houston, and I love HPD, but I noticed there's a different kind of caliber of policing that happens here in Dallas that's incredibly impressive.
We had a very small unit, but we also worked with the Central Business District, and when Occupy Dallas came, I had to compare us to all the other agencies. And they were turning cars over in Oakland and, fighting. And we developed a rapport with them. I would walk through the crowd to make sure everybody was okay. They had my personal cell phone number. The leaders of Black Lives Matter have my cell phone number, Code Pink, any of these groups, and they don't want to get arrested. It's the French people that, get on there, 7 or 8 people, and ruin it for everybody.
Now, I have noticed, and I'm probably going to jinx myself here, and feel free not to answer this question. I don't know if this is supposed to be a secret or something.
Okay.
But one of the things that I've noticed about Dallas PD and just general police force in general in Dallas, they don't really concern themselves with a lot of petty nonsense. And by that, it doesn't seem like, it seems like there's a very stern focus on what I would consider things that really matter when it comes to issues of safety and things of that nature.
Sure.
You don't find a lot of just doing things just simply to do them. in this police department. I'm not saying other police departments do, but am I wrong in that analysis? Or
no, I mean, every person that, we tell them to stay on the sidewalks when they're marching.
Yeah.
Do some of them step off the sidewalks? Could we throw them on the ground, handcuff them, put them in a paddy wagon? Yeah. We just say, hey, man, get back up there.
Yeah.
And if it's an individual that doesn't know me, I had the Dreamers at immigration, it's the immigration group. They had 800 people, but we invited their leadership down to our office just to give them the rules so they wouldn't get in trouble. And I had a guy getting in my face down by the freeway, and one of the leaders came over and said, hey, man, this guy, his detective's been working with this. He's cool, do what he says. And that it really helps to tell them, hey, this is my cell number, you call me anytime.
No,
and they will.
Yeah, no,
we didn't get into pettiness. Now, don't take a swing at me or anything like that. We didn't have very much of that. A little bit.
I don't think anybody could fault you at that point. But no, like I said, I'm on this diatribe because it is something I have noticed. I have a lot of respect.
Pettiness will cause problems all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
If I write this guy a ticket for not using a crosswalk and I don't write this one, now we've got a problem.
Yeah.
So
which is true. Which is very, very true. So now, with your experience on SWAT, what is it really like being on SWAT? Because my ideas and concept of being on SWAT is basically what I see on TV, ironically enough. But
stop it. We don't roll out on the range when we shoot. We don't show our abs and bars.
Sure you don't. Right. Yeah. You just so happen to be what they consider one of the sexiest reality TV stars on television. Yeah, right. Yeah, of course.
No, what's it like? It was a great job. Unfortunately, a lot of the officers that see us, at the time there was only 50 of us, and there's 3,500 officers on the department, and they see us working out, which we're required to do because we have to take a Cooper test twice a year. If we fail the Cooper test, we're out of SWAT. I mean, that's just it. So all people ever saw us doing at like Central was eating and working out. They didn't see us in the middle of the night on call outs. Yeah. They didn't see us at the range shooting and trying to hone our skills or doing entry schools, hostage rescue schools, and then actually having to go out and do the stuff in the middle of the night while they were sleeping. So we took a lot of abuse. They draw pictures of us with holsters with blow dryers and, in our holsters. So that's the joke. SWAT will get there in 45 minutes when they get their hair done, get all balled up. So the TV show really...
I'm pretty sure that helped, right? Yeah, like that really made things a lot better for you, I'm sure, didn't it?
Yeah. Worse.
So speaking of...
I got some thick skin out of the deal.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, speaking of reality TV shows, so how did you get into reality TV? For people who don't know you or have any clue about what you do and how you got to where you are now.
Dallas had a show called First 48 Without Murders. Mm-hmm. And the commander of the homicide unit was a guy, he probably wouldn't want me to say his name, but he's a great guy. And he came over to SWAT. And like everybody, he's like, I got to deal with these prima donnas. And he got over there and found out that we're actually probably fun guys. We didn't cuss and fight like they thought we did. Uh-huh. And he called the network up at A&E and Granada Television and said, you guys ought to do a show on our team. And they came down with some producers, and none of us wanted to be the first person to be on TV. And they followed us around begging these poor kids. Their producers would beg us to put a microphone on. And finally, the commander said, Rich, would you put a microphone on for this guy? He's subcontracted out. If they don't do something, they're not going to have a show. He's not going to make any money. His name was Matt Gordon. And I said, all right. And he's like, thanks, buddy. He goes, we'll do an episode on you. I go, don't do an episode on me. I said, I'm a loser. I'm divorced, trying to get my kid from my ex-wife. I said, I just broke up with my girlfriend, and he did one of those Seinfeld things. That's an episode. So turns out that was the first episode, me trying to get my girlfriend back. And I'd gotten involved in a shooting where I shot a guy with a less lethal round, didn't kill him. No. Just a 40 millimeter round. They built the whole thing around me having my daughter that spring break and and that's exactly what happened. I got called out in the middle of spring break and went and did that deal, and it was fine. Then went to, I think it was Swan Lake with my girlfriend and got her back. So
okay, look at you, big
tough
dog.
Guy.
Wait, hold on. So what did you do to lose her?
Why be my fault?
Hey, man, I'm a man feminist, so everything's your fault.
I did something I promised I would never do. She was bothering me one night in a restaurant. I wanted to go home. I had to get up at 4 to be at work. It was 2:00 in the morning. And I said, I'm leaving. And she said, you leave. And I kind of broke up with her in front of 2 friends, and you don't do that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You break up at home or whatever. So
yeah. I've had my stories.
So I don't do that anymore.
Fair enough. So now that you've gotten, you had this time in reality TV, is there anything you would go back and change?
I think I would be more open about what was going on. You're always afraid before you see the first episode that every F-bomb you drop or anything stupid you do, they're going to put it out there. And so you're real cautious. And I should have been more laid back. And I did, as after I saw the first episode air, I went, man, I did so many goofy things and they didn't show it. So I started relaxing then, but it actually segued. We did 3 seasons, but it segued into work. I ended up working for the Outdoor Sportsman's Channel as a technical advisor on a show about SWAT teams. And I played an FBI agent in a movie last year just for fun. I don't really care about being on TV or being in the movies, but it pays okay.
Yeah.
Especially when you're retired.
Yeah, well, can't argue with that at all.
No. So there are benefits to it, but you get abused, at work. You don't get abused by the public. They love the show.
Yeah.
But boy, the peers will beat you up.
That's usually how it goes, though. None of my friends actually like me.
I like you.
Well, thank you. I thought the shit couldn't get any worse. They give me more shit now.
Oh, it can get worse.
Yeah, it does. It gets really worse. Right? Exactly. Yeah.
They do.
But no, we're gonna take a short break, and then we'll come back, and then we'll come back and talk about some guns.
Right on.